Hi everyone, it's Victoria, the Soul Nurturer. This is the take 2. Now, most of you know I don't do edits, and I very rarely stop a video, but I was 5 minutes into recording this message for all of you, and my neighbor started mowing, and it got so close and so loud, I had to stop. And I'm going to start again, because that sometimes, is also okay too. We don't edit as we do life, but sometimes we have to say, hold up, I need to restart and try again. So that's what I'm doing. So welcome to my channel. I call myself the Soul Nurturer because my mission is all about standing in the gap with people and nurturing soul potential and helping others fulfill the promise of their soul's potential. So and I really think that we have a great deficit of nurturing energy. So this is my offering to you, and oftentimes the videos I do come from a place of what's going on in my life. I know we're all connected, so if I'm feeling triggered, if I'm feeling, something, and I feel called to do a video, a lot of times it's for me, and I know, and I hope, I would say it's more of a hope, that it reaches some of you out there and supports you right where you are. You get a little nurturing, a little lift to keep you going on your journey of unfolding. So today is going to be a little different, and I'll tell you why. Today is a new moon in Virgo. Now, I don't often talk about astrology on my channel. Occasionally I'll talk about some aspect of my chart, but I don't go straight into talking about astrology. And why is that? Well, I am a recovering people pleaser, and I'm also an empath, and I'm very sensitive to people's feelings and pushback I feel energetically from people. So maybe you can relate to this. There are some people we talk about some things with, and some people we don't, for fear of judgment or them not feeling comfortable with what we're sharing, right? So as a recovering people pleaser, any of you out there, comment below if you are one. It's an ongoing awareness of noticing when we get caught up again in that people pleasing cycle. Here comes the mower again. I'm gonna keep going though. So I have a lot of Christian friends that I would feel this is not a topic that they're comfortable with, so I wouldn't talk about it, okay? But I had an extraordinary experience last night. I'm in the middle, not the middle, the very beginning, and we're going to be talking about new beginnings right now. So perfect that I had a start to a 2-year training program to become a spiritual director last weekend, 4 days, and it was intensive, and it was so amazing. Just, I keep saying I feel like I found my people. They speak my language. We're studying Jung and dream work and spirituality, and just everything that I have gathered over my lifetime of unfolding, finding my way, and supporting others. So super excited about that. But something happened in a breakout group on a Zoom call, and that is, this man was in my pod. There was only 3 of us, and he's someone that I had I would say an assumption about, because knowing his father started this school, and knowing the school is, it's a Christian based, but I'm finding gratefully it's a progressive Christian based institution, but it's much more eclectic than that, which is really, when I tell you, this is my vibe, these are my people, because I too have a very eclectic spiritual journey, I guess. So anyway, we're in this pod together. I'm calling it a pod. That's a reference to when I was at Agape, we had pods. And he mentioned something about astrology, and I'm like, what? Because I thought I probably would have to walk lightly with the idea of astrology there, as I have done in my life. And he and I had this most amazing conversation about astrology, and he reminded me, and I was aware of this, but it was awesome to hear it from him, that Jung was an astrologer, and he hid his astrology, even though he had a practice of doing a chart for his clients to kind of get a sense. And that's what I think about a chart, is a soul print of our life as it is here, right? And I often say, Would God or Creator, however you connect, really bring us here, send us here without any instructions? So anyway, it just showed me so much. I felt my heart just open, my soul expand. And I felt like I was given a gift and maybe even a nudge. You know, here I'm in this spiritual container, and it was kind of a nudge of, why are you hiding this? That's a big part of my own healing, and I work with a lot of people on this issue. Why are we hiding any aspect of who we are and what we do and what we love? And, you know, why? Fear, right? It's fear. Fear of being judged, fear of hurting someone, fear of doing the wrong thing. So we restrict and close down. So, all that to say, occasionally now, I'm stepping forward and I'm going to talk about astrology a little bit. I do natal charts for people, and I do track the astrological weather and how things are. I find it fascinating, and it reinforces in me that we do have an incredible creator. That's what it does for me. And anyway, so here I go in this new moon. And if you know anything about a new moons are all about new beginnings, fresh start, new beginnings. It's like fresh potential to play with. And there's often times when we talk about new moons, we talk about planting seeds of intention to grow through the culmination of the moon phases, okay? So we combine, when we look at the new moon, a lot of times people know there's a new moon, but where's the new moon? The new moon is in Virgo. So we combine those two energies. We just look at it. What could that mean? And astrology is an interpretive art, and there's, you know, definitely a lot of people would reference the same thing I'm about to say, but it's also my take on it, okay? So when I think about Virgo energy, Virgo is practical. It's the perfectionist. It's the detail-oriented energy. It's service. It's health. It's lots of it's routine. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about when I thought about what did I want to do my vlog about. I want to combine two things, talking about the new moon and a post I made that were words that came to me 2 days ago when I woke from my dream time. I often wake from dream time, and I call them my little downloads of words dancing in my mind, and then I piece them together and ask, what does this mean for me, and how can this serve others? So I'm going to put those two things together in this vlog. So, routine. Now, during this time of quarantine, I know a lot of us, including myself, a lot of you out there, we've been fumbling around with the routine. You know, we've been maybe like luxuriating with more Netflix than we normally do, or foods that we wouldn't normally eat, or staying up later than we normally would, right? Am I right? Anybody there? Comment below if I'm hitting anything true for you out there. Well, a new moon in Virgo says, okay, time to call ourselves back, time to get real, time to get practical, and to really honor the things that we know. You know, our Virgo is also, you know, it's that conscious and critical thinking, right? We know we can do better, and where could we reel ourselves in and start a plan of action, a plan of care, a plan of support that will help us be our best selves so that we can be of service. Service is another Virgo word. So it's the perfect time today to just do it gentle, and I want to say gentle because Virgo does have some critical energy, and it can be really the perfectionist and can be very judgy. So don't judge, just look with compassion and curiosity. Where am I off my game? Where could I improve, you know, a health routine? You know, just talking about this spiritual direction program that I'm in. It's on the East Coast. So this intensive I just went through was 4 days, and it was amazing. Feeling so grateful that I've connected with, you know, soulful people, and just a group of people. I call them my soul tribe that I resonate so deeply with. And so, but I am an owl. Any owls out there? Which means I like to stay up late, and I get up later than most people. which is fine when you have your own business and you can work your own schedule. But when I had to convert back to a really early day, which was getting up at 5 and starting at 6, it was kind of hard. So I thought, oh, I'm going to keep this new routine of going to bed early and waking early. And 2 days after, I was right back to staying up late and rising later. So this new moon invites me to look at that. Would that be helpful for me? Would it help me be of more service? Would it help me in the unfolding of my potential and purpose? And since I'm all about nurturing our potential and nurturing our souls, does it nurture my soul? So for me, yes, somewhere in the middle. I mean, I'm not going to go early, but a little earlier, and a little earlier rise, I think, is a good thing. So you want to look for setting intentions or planting seeds of intentions on this day that are going to help you. And probably it's something you've been thinking about, like, okay, I really need to reset that or do this differently. Okay, I just invite you to be really gentle. You know, it's a good time to declutter, to get organized is another Virgo thing. Get organized. Put some, my husband's going to love this that I'm using this word, put some systems in place that are practical, that work, that are dependable. Virgo is an earth sign. So to ground us back into routine and get us out of that free falling or free flowing, you know, that maybe some of us have been doing because there isn't a lot of structure around us for those of us working at home, or, you know, routine since the quarantine has really been all over the place. This is an opportunity to create a supportive routine for yourself. Okay, so that said, I wanted to read something because it kind of just piggybacks perfectly with this idea of this new moon in Virgo. This was my soul musing from the other day, and I made a post on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Sacred Soul Vision. And then on Facebook, if you're on Facebook page, which is Sacred Soul Vision with Victoria Jaswick. I may change that. You know, this whole branding thing, I don't know how this is going. I may change it though to Victoria, the Soul Nurturer. We'll see. What do you think about that term, by the way, or that phrase, the Soul Nurturer? I would love some feedback on it. It is kind of hard to say sometimes, Soul Nurturer. But that is what I resonate with, and I would love to hear what you think about that, and if that is indeed what this channel feels like for you. So I could call it the Soul Rambler because I just follow my intuition. But here's what came to me, and it was really, I thought it was funny at first. I always say Spirit has just a great sense of humor. So it starts with this. Who needs Netflix? We are all watching a movie together. But this one is an interactive experience. We all have a role to play in this unfolding story. We can rewrite the script. We can create a new story. We can develop our character and stop being the antagonist and become the protagonist. We can make it less dramatic. And then I went on to say that our choices matter in this real life story. And that the choices will not only impact us in this present time, but more importantly, our young ones and generations to come. So the last line is, don't just hope for a happy ending. Create one. Create one. Okay, so I love this, and I'm going to break this down just a little bit for you. I had a mentor years ago that used to say something like, you know, life can be so dramatic, and sometimes you just need to make a big bowl of popcorn and sit down and watch the show. And honestly, whew, yeah, we can interpret what is in any which way and look through whatever lens we want to look through. So the point of this share here is to use the energy of what is and interpret it in a way that is supportive to us so we can be of support to others and this collective unfolding, right? So I want to go through a couple of these lines and just expand on them a little bit more and say, what does that even mean, right? Well, who needs Netflix? Well, that's obvious. And I want to know how many of you have been watching a lot more Netflix, huh? So I out myself on that for sure. I try to watch, you know, I always say to my husband, I want to watch material that is soul enhancing or makes me cry. I mean, a lot of empaths out there will relate to this. Sometimes I just need to wring it out, you know, let it go. So this next line, we are watching a movie together. Yes, we are. But again, the next line, but this is an interactive experience because we are all involved in the unfolding of what's happening. And this story, this collective story unfolding is connected to our inner story, our inner beliefs, our patterns, our view of the world. Everything right now is up for review, right? That's where we all need to be looking and working, questioning why we believe what we believe. And if what we believe is in alignment with the potential that is trying to unfold, okay? So we all have a role to play in this unfolding story. We can rewrite the script. And if you're doing inner work, you understand what that means. We have a script that usually the majority of our inner script was created before we are 7 years old, right? Isn't that amazing? And we're going to that old script, the old references, and doing the same old thing over and over again. This time of transformation, talk about astrology, is saying you can't do it the old way anymore. Those old ways, old systems do not work. They don't support us. They don't support all of us. And it's a time to restructure, and it's not gentle. It's like a big wrecking ball coming in to say, that's not going to work. This isn't working. And we are all in that individually and collectively, and we're going to all, ideally, build something new that is more life-supporting, okay? It starts with rewriting that script and creating a new story, not just for ourselves, which is an important thing to do. What story am I telling myself about myself and my life? Is it helpful? Does it hurt me? Is it empowering? We want to go for empowering. And then what's the new story that we are collectively trying to emerge together? Okay. And then this line, develop our character. Actually, it says develop our characters. But taking again first the microcosm of the macrocosm. This character, the one that I can do something about. How is my character? How is my integrity? Am I keeping my word? Am I doing my best? Am I bringing my best? Am I contributing or contaminating, right? We talked about that in one of my other videos. Stop being the antagonist and become the protagonist. So for those of you who don't know what an antagonist is, typically it's the bad guy. It's the one that goes against the hero of our stories and tries to just sabotage. You know, really, we kind of have a protagonist, the one that's setting goals in our mind, and the antagonist, the one that's trying to take us down and not let us fulfill the promise of our potential. So, but we have choice about that, okay? And then make it less dramatic. In fact, you can make it whatever you want. Right now, think about what movie are you watching when you watch this story unfolding? I know for some it feels like a horror story, and yeah, you know, my partner he loves to watch movies. Well, and I think this is common for men and women. He likes to watch movies that are more of, you know, he calls it training because this is part of his mission and his work. But, you know, maybe like a movie about the apocalypse. And I'm like, I don't need to watch that right now. I don't know what's going on, but it's not right now a happy movie. But I can look at what's happening on the external and say, okay, that's what is. Look for the facts, get my reality check, and then create and envision what it is I want to create within me to contribute back. So we can make it less drama, and I can have more lightness in my being, maybe even more comedy. I could laugh more, bring more joy. Okay, these are all our choices. So our choices matter in this real life story that is unfolding. All of our choices, okay? And this part, you know, sometimes when I got this and I wrote it down, I was like, whoa, this is really something, you know, touched me. it's not only to impact us in this present time, but it is more importantly for our young ones. And I want to pause here and just say, you know, that's someplace I look. Everything we do and everyone we elevate to higher positions are informing and teaching and role modeling for our young ones. I mean, take that in for a moment and consider that. I mean, I don't want to make this political, but I am going to say this. Consider the person you are thinking about voting for. Think about if you have small children and your child is getting informed by that person you voted for. The majority of what they're going to take in, I'm not saying this is the case because your kids, you're their first role model, but that they're so deeply influenced by the person you chose to vote into office. And that's who your child becomes as an adult. And that's the world that your child creates. And is your child now a grown adult contributing or contaminating this collective world? Just think about that for a moment. You know, our kids don't take advice like, don't do this, don't do what that person's doing, do this instead. They watch what people are doing and they mimic it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Whatever that means to you, felt like I wanted to say that. Here's the last part. It's not just for the young ones, it's for generations to come. My choice today impacts the future generations. All of our choices do. We're co-creating not just what's happening with us now, but what's going to happen in the future. So this is my favorite line. Don't just hope for a happy ending. Create one. Create one. So that's where I want to tie this all together. Creating a happy moment, creating a happy ending starts with creating present moment awareness with intention. We start where we are. We, with this practical Virgo moon, get real and say what's not working and what would work better. And start where you are and don't overdo it. Just create some new patterns that will support you, and in supporting you helps you support your family, your loved ones, and out into the world, okay? Don't go too, you know, sometimes when we think, oh, I'm going to set intentions, and we just like write this whole manifesto, and that's really not a good place to go with a Virgo moon, because Virgo wants perfection. So remember, I often say, forget about perfection. It's just progress unfolding, and there is no perfection anyway. So be gentle as you set intentions, and just start with one or two things that are doable, things that you can practice into routine. It's good to connect it to a positive thought. You know, what do I need to believe about myself in order to create these new patterns? My favorite, I think it's one of the places we always need to work, is I'm worthy of creating these new routines or these new habits that support my well-being, okay? So play with that. And, you know, some people do some rituals around the new moon. You know, do what calls to you. Journal some intentions. Share with your partner or friend, hey, I'm doing a reset. Here's what I'm going to be practicing. Hold me accountable. Whatever works, okay? That's all I have for you, but I just really wanted to share on this new moon, a new beginning, because when we take a step on a new moon, it's more empowered. So may you take a powerful new step that empowers you, supports you, nurtures your soul, and brings more of you and your authentic you into the world to be shared. Okay, I look forward to your comments, and until next time, take good care of you, nurture your soul, and keep breathing deeply into the possibilities yet to be.